Hello and welcome to this video about Jaguar XK8, how many? This is video 58 in my series of XK8 videos. In this video I'm going to try and work out how many X100s were made, how many were exported, how many are remaining now, and try and predict how many are going to be around in the future. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate if you would subscribe, particularly if you're interested in Jaguar XK8s. That's what all my videos are about. If you want to do so, please press the red rectangle subscribe button and click the bell to be reminded of any videos that are being released. If you like the videos, please click the thumbs up. If you don't, click the thumbs down. Please share the videos, and if you have any questions, please do put those in the comments section. Right, on to business. In this video, I'm going to go through a summary of all basically the figures, go through production and export figures, the UK sales, and how many are actually in the system, registration, a bit of a conclusion, and I'll actually go through at the end, for anybody who's really geeky, the raw data and how I've calculated my assumptions, etc. Okay, so what are the summary of the figures? So between 1996 and 2006, Jaguar made 90,616 X100s. That includes XK8s, XK8 convertibles, XKRs and XKR convertibles. The UK sales figure is estimated at 17,039, roughly 19% of the overall volume. And currently in 2020, we can see 9,544 registered cars in October of that year. There is actually a cumulative number including the SORN cars, or statutory off notice cars. Those are cars which aren't registered to be on the road but are within the Ministry of Transport system, of 14,260. I predict, based on the decline of numbers, that in the UK in 2030 there'll be roughly 6,000 cars registered on the road and roughly up to 12,000 cars incorporating the 6,000 on the road and any SORN cars. So reality is it's going to be a lot closer to 6. Right, then moving on, here's the data. So first of all, the production figures. This is the table you can see here, going from 1995 for the pre-build cars, production verification run, all the way through to 2006, where there actually wasn't any production but there were still sales. This is Jaguar data. If you make a pie chart of that, roughly 90,616 cars, the bulk of them were XK8 convertibles. Over 50% of the cars were XK8 convertibles. The next most popular was XK8 Coupe, with the XKR Coupe being 11% and XKR convertible 15%. So the rarest car is actually XKR Coupe worldwide. This next line now is the production figures from 1996 to 2005, and you can see at the start there wasn't any XKR Coupe convertibles made until 1998 when it was released, and the bulk of the volume, as you can see, is the convertible. Next, the export figures. Again, these are Jaguar figures. Exports from 1996 through to 2006. It's quite interesting, these figures, because the bulk of the volume went to US or North America. The next highest region was Europe. I've tried to tease out the UK volume of that, and there's one car went to Cuba, which I'd be interested to know who that guy is, and roughly 81 cars to Japan. So if we summarise that again with a pie chart, the bulk of the volume is USA and Canada, North America 55%, 50,000 cars plus. The UK got 19%, as I say, 17,039 roughly cars. Europe was slightly higher at 23% with 20,000 cars, and the rest of the world 5%. But you see, the bulk market for this car was North America. Here we show the worldwide sales over the 1996-2005 period. As we said before, North America didn't get any cars till actually 1997, and it only got the XKR till 1998, but still the sales declined right from 1997 downwards until there's a slight blip in 2005. If we now look at the estimated UK car sales, based on the export data, there's 17,039 cars. However, based on the peak registration of cars in the UK, as seen on the howmanycarsleft.co.uk, it was actually, this pie chart is based on 16,988, so it's roughly 17,000 anyway. So don't take too much note of the precise figures, but the trend is going to be correct. So we get, again, what we can see is the most popular car is the XK8 Coupe. Next is the XKR Coupe, and the convertible very close third. And the XKR convertible is quite rare in the UK, looking at these figures. I mean, these are the figures from the Ministry of Transport via howmanyleft.co.uk website. So, but that looks amazingly low. And I'd be interested, everybody's got a comment, you can verify that that's correct or not. But if you've got an XKR convertible in right-hand drive in the UK, that is quite a rare car in the UK, based on these figures. Now, if we then have a look at that over the start of production right up until today, you can see the trend, the cars being built, and then from 2006, a steady decline of the cars on the road and being registered and being soaring. Particularly the black, bars are actually the soaring element. You can see that gradually growing, and it doesn't actually get any smaller. And this soaring is actually taken in the figures are taken in the summer. So these are cars, despite it being summer, are still soaring. You can see the overall trend is down. If I did the same, I actually just this graph just shows XK8 and XKR. It accumulates the coupes and convertibles together, and you can see here if you add the green and the blue, with the green being the XK and XKR, the maximum licensed car today on the road in the UK is 9,544. That's in the middle of summer, albeit there's a slight dip this year because of coronavirus, but the trend is basically the same. But overall, the maximum number left, that's including the licensed, then the soaring, is 14,260. But as I say, you can see that soaring value for a summer just keeps getting steadily bigger and bigger. So you've got to say some of those cars are not going to come back on the road. If I try and push the figures out another 10 years, you can see the line is quite consistent falling, both for the licensed and the licensed plus soaring, and it's quite reasonable to get to a figure here following the red line of about 6,000 licensed cars in 2030. The soaring value isn't coming down quite as quickly because people aren't as keen to take their cars to the scrapyards. Maybe scrapyards aren't actually scrapping the cars, they're keeping them on soaring. I'm not really sure why the soaring figure isn't declining at the same rate. But anyway, maximum licensed car I predict in 2030 will be 6,000, and the maximum left, absolute maximum 12,000. So you can see the gap is growing. Okay, just to recap, production, total production 90,616, UK sales 17,000, UK on the road about 9.5, and maybe in 2030 6,000 cars. So it's reasonable then to assume there'll only be half the original number of cars left in 2030. And this really is a bit of a preamble to my next videos about what will be the value of the car. Is it a classic car? So what sort of demand is there going to be, and what valuations are going to be of these cars in another 10 years. Okay, so thanks for watching that bit. If you'd like to understand the raw data and the calculations, the corrections and adjustments I've made, please keep watching. So I got my data from a website called How Many Left. So type that into Google, you get this website, www.howmanyleft.co.uk. Click on that, And here we have the website. It's all based on data taken from the Department of Transport, and it's regularly updated. So if I put in Jaguar XK8, gives me the two models, convertible and auto. If I click on convertible, it gives me all the data of the number of cars licensed since 2006, and then approximately 2007 how many licensed and so on, and you get this graph. So what I've basically done, I've searched each one of these and outputted the data into Excel, and done the same for XKR, which is where some problems occur, which I'll go to later on in the video. So I think it's best if I explain where I got my data and the assumptions I've made. So both the production figures and the export figures I got from a guy on the Jaguar forums, who then got them off Jaguar. His name is Paul Kane, or PKYs on the Jaguar forums. Thank you very much for Paul for that. Paul got the data when Ford requested Jaguar supply data in 2007, assumingly around about the sale of the business. With the production figures, I didn't do a lot other than put it in a table and calculate the percentages, made some graphs. With the export figures, there was some problems in that in order to tease out the UK sales figure, I had to make some assumptions, because after 1999 the EU and UK sales were combined. So what I did was calculate the percentage before 2000, which was 45%, and then prorated it out for all the other figures, and that's what this yellow section in the table is. It's the calculated assumption of 45% sales figures, and then calculated the percentages and made some graphs that you can see in the presentation sort of video. The how many left section, then I downloaded the data off the website for each of the model categories. XK8 was just XK8 Coupe and convertible. It's relatively simple. The peak data is 2006 and 2007, so roughly accurate, I've felt. With the XKR, there was a few issues. There was lots of listings at XKR. Some are plainly XK models, not X100, and there is some mixed data XK8 model with the XKR, because obviously it's the way the vehicle's described in the Department of Transport. So you can see here, for example, XKR Auto, the peak ought to be 2006-07, which is 3,900. However, the peak was 2012, so there's obviously XK8 data in there. Also, there was several descriptions of XKR Coupe, so it's XKR Coupe and Coupe Auto, so I've had to try and combine those figures after adjusting it. So going back to XKR Auto, so the peak was should be 3,919, but it was actually 2,500 vehicles higher, so I've deducted that figure through the rest of the years, done a similar thing for XKR Convertible and the combined Coupe Auto figure to give a sort of sanitized and corrected figure. I've then sanity checked this with my combined figures. The peak around 2007, again I know it should be 2006, but the peak around 2007 was is calculated to be 16,986, which is not a million miles away from the export figure assumption, so give or take we're in the right ballpark. I've then just took that data, manipulated, created some graphs, highlighted the maximums, registrations, percentages, so on, and then sort of try to predict what the final figure would be in 2030. So there you go. That's how I've calculated all my data. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and you got the idea of how I got the facts and figures together. Please like, please comment and share, and please subscribe. if you'd like to see more XK8 videos.